Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel guys, and today we are actually going to start learning how to code. So, before I actually go into the NetBeans and stuff like that, I just wanted to introduce you to some basic things. So I wrote down some list. This is a semicolon. We always put this at the end of every statement in Java. So some examples are right here in I is equal to 0 and in x is equal to 0, we always look at all these statements. We instantiated the variables of type integer, which I'll explain more later once we get down here. And even if we just print something out, we also put a semicolon. When instantiating array, we also put a semicolon. But we sometimes use square brackets. Or not square brackets, just brackets, whatever you want to call them, guys. And we use these because it's either a for loop or a while loop, like this one, a do while loop, but actually the do while is where it will get tricky, because I'll explain later, but this is where we actually put a semicolon at the end. But that's because it's a do while. It does things before checking it. Now this should be I is equal to 0, but this will be infinite because if you check, look, I is always equal to 0. So this is all infinite loops. This one will get an error, won't read it because I is not less than 0, it's equal to. But it doesn't matter. These are just some examples. So for now, don't worry about the do while. I'll explain that later. It's mostly used in passwords because if you think about it logically, let's say you're about to enter your computer. It's not going to run a loop checking your password every single time. It'll check it, and if you got it wrong, then it'll count the number of times, and each time you got it wrong, it'll count it up, and let's see, after 3 times, it'll say, wow, I is less than 3. And inside will be a statement that will check it. So, these are just, these 2 slashes, this lets you comment things in code. It doesn't actually act like a code part, is just random. Whatever you want to say here, it will allow you to say it because it's just commenting things out. You would say check password. Well, of course it's not like this, but this is just commenting. And then add to I if it is wrong. And so after I, not 30, after I is greater than 3, or even 3, you will get a message that will say, since we already know, like I said, printing out words, you would say something like system.out.println hello world. You would say system.out.println wrong. So that's just a way, I'll delete this for you to better see, a way for you to check passwords. But of course I'll get into this later. For now, just remember that we use brackets. This is all, we'll cover this later. These were all just examples for you. We'll cover it later, and just for now, remember that these are brackets, and they're used in methods, which I'll show you right now. Public void M1. We'll get into this later again. I'm just showing you. See? We're using square brackets, because it will actually, when you call it from the driver, which I'll also explain later, you need these square brackets to tell what to run in the code. So for now, just remember, semicolons are what's mostly used, and brackets are sometimes used, but it's only used for methods, classes, and lose. But there are of course more examples of these brackets. But these are just basic things. So now we'll go into the type of variable. So what is an integer? An integer is what you think. It's from -1 to -2 to -3, and it can go all the way from to -infinity even. -infinity. Don't have infinity symbol. So, but it can also be a +1, +2, +3, up till infinity. +infinity. Right? Well, actually, this is wrong. You can't put it up to +infinity because your computer will probably run out of space by that time. So, of course, there are limitations. It will have a large amount of characters you can fit in, like 1, 2, 3, all the way to probably, of course, 6,000 or even more. But integers, the main thing you want to focus on for right now is that integers they're a type of variable, and variables are a type of data storage. So imagine a computer is like an ice cube jar. Like the one thing you use to create ice cubes, those plastic things. You pour liquid in and you put it in the freezer and it turns into an ice cube. Well, imagine a computer is just all those that ice cube packet without any water in it. And when you're declaring a variable like int I is equal to 0, you're filling that ice cube packet up with water, and you're saying that this part of the computer's storage is used, and it's going to be int I is equal to 0, that I is going to be equal to 0. Now you can also change variables. You can say I plus 1, and that will add 1 to I. So that's basically integers. They're all positive and negative numbers. Now, double x is equal to 2.5. Now, what's the difference? You probably see it. It's not 1, it's not 2, it's 2.5. It has a decimal in it. Now, this should not scare you at all. Doubles are just decimal numbers. Same thing as float. Floats are also pretty much decimal numbers. Now there's another type of variable out there. It's called string. We call it S1. But strings are actual words. Like word. There we go. It can be sentences. It can be anything you want. You can say word is the best thing to say. That's a string. That's basically what you need to know about strings so far. We'll learn throughout this course how to concatenate strings, which is combining two strings together, taking different words out from a string, and etc. Now there's finally a last type variable. It's char, or short for character. Right? So char A is equal to, now characters, you'd usually put them in single quotes, and it can be character A is equal to A. So when you're about to print character A, it'll pop up as a single character. You'd get an error message if you put in a character as if it was word Bob. Yeah, that would be wrong because we're looking at just a single character. Even one single word is wrong. It has to be single character. W, for example. Now, those are all the types of variables. I'll give you a couple of seconds to overthink it and look at what I've written down. even though I deleted it, but it's fine. We'll just look at these few examples for now. Okay, so now we'll talk about the variable name, which is really easy. It's just literally I'm saying that when I'm instantiating a variable of type int, I can name it whatever I possibly want, unless it's int int, int double, int string, int character, or any other thing that is already used in Java. It would just make no logical sense. It would be really hard for the computer to distinguish between int double, remember this, int double equals 0, right? And just the regular double. So you're saying that double x is equal to 0. Well, are you saying that the double, that one int double equals 0 is now x equals 0? The computer will just have, it will make no logical sense, right? So that's why you do not want to use it. Even the same type will not work. The name has to be x num1 num2. It doesn't have to be, I mean that you can do anything you want. Any sort of character you want. X, C, but it just can't be int or double. Got it? Great. Now, I'll show you one last thing. So let's go back. Let's delete this array so it doesn't scare you. System.out.println. What it's basically doing is just telling the computer, hey, print this out. Hello world. Now, let's say we have a variable of type int and named x, which we set to 12, right? Now, we take out this line right here, and we say print x. What will it print out? Well, let me show you. It will print this, 12. That's the basic thing you need to know right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something new. Please tell me if I'm going too fast, explaining too much. Comment down in the video below how I can improve my videos. Please make it positive comments, not negative. Subscribe, like, and get ready for the next video. Goodbye.